Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of these videos. Imagine this, somewhere out there, among the billions of stars in our galaxy, lies a planet teeming with life. Not just simple life, but a thriving, advanced civilization. Yet we've never seen it. Not a trace. No signals, no artifacts, nothing. It's as if the universe is eerily silent. This mystery has baffled scientists, philosophers, and dreamers for decades. How can the universe be so vast, yet so seemingly empty of intelligent life? Could it be that something terrifying is at play? Something that ensures most civilizations never make it far enough to leave their home worlds. This is where the Great Filter comes in, a chilling idea that suggests there are immense, possibly insurmountable challenges that prevent intelligent civilizations from reaching the stars. The Great Filter isn't just a casual theory, it's a concept that forces us to confront humanity's future. It's a way to explain why the cosmos feels so quiet when, statistically, it should be brimming with life. If you think about it, there are countless planets, billions of stars, and an incomprehensible amount of time. Shouldn't we be seeing alien megastructures, intercepting alien radio signals, or even detecting some intergalactic war? Yet we don't. Why? What's stopping advanced civilizations from surviving long enough to explore the galaxy? And most importantly, what does this mean for us? Let's break it down. The Great Filter can be thought of as a barrier, a stage of development that is so hard to pass that almost no civilization makes it through. It could occur at any point in the life of a species, from the earliest origins of life to the challenges of interstellar travel. For us, the big question is, have we already passed the filter, or is it still ahead of us? If it's behind us, that's a relief. Perhaps the emergence of intelligent life is so rare that we're an extraordinary anomaly. But if it's ahead of us, that's where things get unnerving. It means some catastrophic challenge could wipe us out before we ever become a space-faring species. Now, let's think about why life might fail to reach the stars. The first possible filter could be the origin of life itself. Maybe the leap from simple chemistry to self-replicating molecules is so staggeringly unlikely that it only happens once in a blue moon, on a cosmic scale. After all, Earth has been around for over 4.5 billion years, and it took almost a billion of those years for life to even begin. If this step is nearly impossible, then maybe that's why the universe seems empty. But here's the catch: if the origin of life is the Great Filter, then we're already past it. That's good news for us. But let's not get too comfortable. Another filter might be the jump from simple single-celled organisms to complex, multicellular life. It took Earth's life billions of years to go from bacteria-like organisms to something as sophisticated as plants and animals. What if that step is where most planets get stuck? Think about it. There could be countless planets out there covered in oceans of microbes that never evolve further. That would mean complex life like us is a rare gem. And yet, even if life evolves complexity, there's no guarantee it becomes intelligent. Dinosaurs ruled Earth for over 160 million years, but they never built spaceships. Intelligence doesn't seem like a guaranteed outcome of evolution. What if most complex life is more like giant squids or bird-like creatures, perfectly adapted to their environments but lacking the curiosity or ability to manipulate their surroundings the way we do? Intelligence might be far rarer than we assume. But here's where it gets truly unsettling. What if intelligence is the problem? What if the very traits that make a species intelligent, ambition, curiosity, and creativity, also lead to its downfall? This brings us to one of the most chilling aspects of the Great Filter: self-destruction. Technological advancement often comes with risks. Once a civilization discovers nuclear power, artificial intelligence, or advanced biotechnology, it also gains the tools for its own annihilation. Could it be that intelligent civilizations inevitably destroy themselves before they ever spread beyond their home planet? Think about it. Humanity has been around for about 200,000 years, but we only developed the technology to destroy ourselves in the last century. That's a blink of an eye on the cosmic timeline. If the average civilization doesn't survive this phase, it could explain the silence in the universe. Maybe intelligent life always invents weapons it can't control or technologies that spiral out of hand. It's a grim thought, but one we have to take seriously. Then there's the possibility of external threats. Space is a dangerous place. Asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, or gamma-ray bursts could wipe out civilizations before they ever get the chance to look up at the stars. Even if a civilization survives these events, its home planet has a limited lifespan. Eventually, stars die, planets become uninhabitable, and galaxies collide. A civilization that doesn't figure out how to leave its planet is living on borrowed time. The Great Filter forces us to ask, are we ready to face these challenges? Are we doing enough to ensure humanity's survival in the long term? Because if the Great Filter is ahead of us, it's not just a philosophical idea, it's a very real existential threat. It could mean that our future hinges on making the right choices, developing the right technologies, and avoiding catastrophic mistakes. But let's flip the script for a moment. What if the Great Filter isn't a challenge we need to overcome, but rather a question of perspective? Maybe advanced civilizations do exist, but we're just not looking in the right way. Maybe they're so far beyond us technologically that we wouldn't even recognize them if we saw them. Or maybe they've chosen to remain silent, avoiding contact with less advanced species like us. The Great Filter doesn't just challenge our understanding of survival. It challenges how we think about the very nature of life and intelligence. And this brings us back to the Fermi paradox, the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the lack of evidence for it. The Great Filter might hold the key to solving this paradox, but it also raises more questions than it answers. If we're alone in the universe, is it because we're special or because we're doomed? And if we're not alone, why haven't we seen anyone else? The Great Filter is a haunting concept because it forces us to confront our place in the cosmos. It's a reminder that survival isn't guaranteed and that the choices we make today could determine whether we become a species that reaches the stars or just another cosmic tragedy. So, where does that leave us? Are we brave enough to face the challenges ahead, to learn from the silence of the cosmos, and to ensure that we don't become a statistic in the story of the universe? The Great Filter also makes us question the idea of progress itself. What does it mean for a civilization to advance? If the barriers to survival and expansion are so high, then what skills or traits does a species need to overcome them? Is it raw intelligence, cooperation, or maybe even luck? These are questions we must grapple with because they aren't just about hypothetical alien civilizations, they're about us. They're about whether humanity has what it takes to endure the challenges ahead. Let's consider some of the filters that might still be ahead of us. One of the most obvious threats is ecological collapse. As civilizations grow, they consume more resources, produce more waste, and strain their planet's ecosystems. On Earth, we're already seeing the consequences of industrialization, climate change, deforestation, ocean acidification, and mass extinctions. These aren't just environmental issues, they're existential risks. If we fail to address them, they could destabilize global systems to the point where advanced civilization becomes unsustainable. It's easy to imagine how this could be a universal problem. Any planet-bound species that grows too fast without understanding its ecological limits might be doomed to self-destruct before it ever leaves its home. Then there's the issue of technological risk. As we develop more advanced technologies, the stakes get higher. Artificial intelligence is a prime example. On one hand, AI has the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest problems, from curing diseases to managing resources. But on the other hand, it could pose existential threats if it's misaligned with human values or used irresponsibly. A rogue AI could act in ways that harm, or even destroy its creators. Another potential filter is stagnation. Imagine a civilization that becomes so comfortable or complacent that it stops innovating. Without the drive to explore, adapt, and expand, such a society might be vulnerable to long-term threats it fails to foresee. This could include resource depletion, cultural decay, or the inability to respond to sudden crises. Some scientists and philosophers worry that humanity might fall into this trap if we prioritize short-term convenience over long-term survival. And we haven't even touched on the cosmic challenges. Space itself is unforgiving. Traveling between stars isn't just a matter of building better rockets, It's a monumental leap in technology and logistics. The distances involved are mind-boggling. Even at the speed of light, it would take over 4 years to reach the nearest star, and current spacecraft are far slower than that. On top of that, space is full of dangers, from radiation to micrometeoroids. A single catastrophic failure could spell doom for an interstellar mission. These challenges might explain why even advanced civilizations struggle to colonize the galaxy. But let's get speculative for a moment. What if the Great Filter isn't a natural phenomenon at all? What if it's deliberate? Some have suggested the possibility of a cosmic zoo hypothesis, where advanced civilizations deliberately avoid contact with younger species like us. Perhaps they see it as unethical to interfere, or maybe they're waiting for us to reach a certain level of development before revealing themselves. In this scenario, the Great Filter might not be about survival, but about proving ourselves worthy of joining a galactic community. It's a fascinating idea, but one that raises even more questions about the nature of intelligence and morality. Alternatively, the Great Filter could involve something we haven't even imagined yet. After all, our understanding of the universe is still limited. There could be forces or phenomena out there that we're completely unaware of, things that act as barriers to the spread of intelligent life. Dark energy, for example, is accelerating the expansion of the universe, making it harder for galaxies to interact over time. Could this be a factor? Or maybe there's something about consciousness itself that we don't understand, something that limits the ability of civilizations to endure or expand. The implications of the Great Filter go beyond science. They touch on philosophy, ethics, and even psychology. How do we as a species prepare for challenges we can't fully predict? How do we prioritize long-term survival in a world that often focuses on short-term gains? These are questions we need to take seriously because the stakes couldn't be higher. If the Great Filter is real, then our future depends on how well we navigate its obstacles. But there's also a more hopeful perspective. The fact that we're even having this conversation means we're already at an advanced stage. We've developed the ability to reflect on our place in the universe, to ask big questions, and to work together to solve complex problems. These are advantages that could help us overcome the challenges ahead. The Great Filter doesn't have to be a death sentence. It could be a call to action, a reminder that survival is something we have to work for. And who knows? If we do make it past the filter, if we become a space-faring species that spreads across the stars, then we could be the ones to answer the Fermi paradox. We could be the civilization that breaks the silence, that reaches out to others, that ensures the universe isn't empty but filled with life and discovery. That's a future worth striving for, a future where humanity not only survives but thrives. But we're not there yet. The Great Filter is a concept that demands humility. It forces us to confront the possibility that we're not as special or as invincible as we'd like to think. It's a reminder that progress isn't guaranteed and that the universe doesn't owe us a future. If we want to make it, we have to earn it, through innovation, cooperation, and a deep respect for the challenges that lie ahead. The Great Filter is not just an intellectual exercise. It's a lens through which we can examine every aspect of our civilization, from how we govern ourselves to how we interact with our environment. At its core, the hypothesis challenges us to consider whether we are truly prepared for the responsibility of advancing as a species. If civilizations destroy themselves before they can colonize the stars, the real question becomes, what can we learn from that possibility to avoid the same fate? Now consider artificial intelligence, a technology that could either catapult us into a golden age or serve as our undoing. Some experts warn of superintelligent AI, systems that, once created, could act in ways we cannot predict or control. These concerns aren't about machines turning evil, but about misaligned objectives. Imagine an AI tasked with optimizing resource use that decides humanity itself is an inefficiency. While such scenarios might sound dramatic, the underlying risks are real, and our ability to mitigate them is limited by our understanding of these complex systems. Other civilizations, if they exist, may have also grappled with the challenge of balancing technological ambition with caution, and possibly lost that gamble. Ecological collapse is another candidate for the Great Filter, and it's not hard to see why. On Earth, the signs of environmental degradation are everywhere: rising sea levels, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. These changes aren't just inconveniences, they're threats to the systems that sustain life. If a civilization like ours fails to adapt to its planet's limits, it might find itself unable to sustain its population, let alone pursue space exploration. The transition to a sustainable society is a challenge that may well determine our survival, and it's easy to imagine how other civilizations might have failed to rise to this occasion. Let's not forget the cosmic hazards that could serve as filters. A large asteroid impact, like the one that likely caused the extinction of the dinosaurs, could wipe out most of humanity in a single catastrophic event. While we have developed early warning systems and strategies for deflecting asteroids, these efforts are still in their infancy. Gamma-ray bursts, supernovae, and other high-energy cosmic events pose additional risks, especially for civilizations that haven't yet developed the technology to predict or shield against them. These events could reset the clock on a planet's progress, forcing life to start over from scratch. But what if the Great Filter is something even more intrinsic to the nature of intelligence itself? Some researchers speculate that self-awareness and the ability to manipulate the environment might inherently lead to self-destruction. Intelligent beings, driven by curiosity and the desire for control, might inevitably create tools and systems that outpace their ability to manage them safely. This idea ties into the runaway technology concept, where innovation spirals out of control, creating risks faster than solutions. If this is the case, then the very traits that allow civilizations to advance might also ensure their eventual demise. There's also the possibility that the Great Filter operates on a level we can't yet perceive. Perhaps it involves principles of physics or biology that we don't fully understand. For example, faster-than-light travel might be impossible, making interstellar colonization unfeasible. Alternatively, there could be universal laws or constants that limit the spread of life, such as the availability of elements necessary for building advanced technology. These unknowns remind us of how much we still have to learn about the universe and our place within it. The Fermi paradox looms large over all these discussions. If intelligent life is common, why haven't we detected it? Some scientists argue that the Great Filter provides a plausible answer. The silence might be the result of civilizations encountering insurmountable challenges. This raises another unsettling question. Are we early in the cosmic timeline, or are we simply the lucky ones who have made it this far? If it's the latter, the pressure is on us to ensure we don't squander our head start. Despite its grim implications, the Great Filter also carries a profound sense of hope. If we can identify and overcome the filters that threaten our existence, we might pave the way for a future where humanity flourishes among the stars. This wouldn't just be a victory for our species, it would be a statement about the resilience of intelligent life in a vast, indifferent universe. It would mean that, against all odds, we found a way to endure. The key to navigating the Great Filter lies in foresight and cooperation. We must recognize the interconnected nature of the challenges we face. Ecological collapse, technological risk, and societal instability are not isolated issues. They're symptoms of a larger system that requires balance. To survive, we must learn to think long-term, to prioritize collective well-being over short-term gains, and to cultivate a culture of responsibility and innovation. At the same time, we must remain curious and ambitious. The Great Filter is a reminder that the path to the stars won't be easy, but it's also a call to action. Every step we take, whether it's developing sustainable energy, exploring Mars, or advancing our understanding of the universe, brings us closer to a future where we've overcome the barriers that have stopped others before us. And perhaps, one day, we'll find the answers we're looking for. We'll discover whether we're truly alone or part of a larger cosmic tapestry. Until then, the Great Filter challenges us to be better, to rise above our limitations, and to strive for a future where humanity isn't just a fleeting phenomenon, but a lasting presence in the universe. If humanity can overcome the challenges of the Great Filter, it opens up the incredible possibility of interstellar exploration and the colonization of other worlds. However, this achievement isn't just about technological progress. It's about proving that intelligent life can endure, adapt, and thrive despite the immense challenges of existence. If we succeed, we might become the first civilization to do so, or at least the first we've ever encountered. The Great Filter forces us to confront a sobering reality. We are in a race against time. Every day, we face existential risks that could wipe out our civilization, whether through natural disasters, technological mishaps, or societal collapse. This urgency underscores the importance of creating systems that minimize these risks and maximize our chances of survival. Take, for instance, the need to diversify our habitats. As long as humanity is confined to Earth, we are vulnerable to any number of catastrophic events, from asteroid impacts to climate-induced crises. Colonizing other planets or building self-sustaining space habitats would serve as a form of insurance, ensuring that even if one branch of humanity perishes, others can continue. This idea, often referred to as becoming a multiplanetary species, is championed by visionaries like Elon Musk and others who see Mars as the next logical step in human evolution. But even colonizing another planet presents its own set of potential filters. How do we sustain life in an environment that wasn't designed for us? How do we transport enough resources to make a colony viable, or develop the technologies needed to create self-sufficiency? And perhaps most crucially, how do we ensure that the social systems of a spacefaring society don't repeat the mistakes of Earth? These are questions that humanity must answer before we can even begin to think of ourselves as a species capable of surviving the Great Filter. One particularly intriguing aspect of the Great Filter hypothesis is its connection to the Fermi paradox. If we assume that intelligent life is common in the universe, the absence of evidence for other civilizations becomes all the more striking. Could it be that the Great Filter lies in our future, waiting to test us in ways we can't yet imagine? Or does it lie in our past, in barriers we've already overcome, such as the emergence of complex life or the development of intelligence? If the latter is true, then we might be incredibly fortunate to exist at all. The transition from single-celled organisms to multicellular life, for example, was a monumental leap that may be exceedingly rare. Similarly, the conditions that led to the evolution of intelligent life on Earth, such as a stable climate, the presence of water, and a relatively calm cosmic environment, might be far less common than we assume. If these past barriers represent the Great Filter, then humanity has already defied the odds. But if the Great Filter lies ahead, it serves as a warning. Advanced civilizations may frequently destroy themselves before reaching a stage where interstellar travel is possible. This idea aligns with the concept of self-destructive intelligence, which suggests that the very traits that enable technological progress, curiosity, ambition, and the desire for control, can also lead to catastrophic outcomes. The development of nuclear weapons, for instance, is a testament to humanity's capacity for both innovation and destruction. The implications of this are profound. If we are one of the first civilizations to reach this point, it means we have a responsibility not just to ourselves, but to the universe. Our survival could pave the way for other civilizations, demonstrating that it is possible to overcome the Great Filter and thrive. Conversely, if we fail, we might confirm the hypothesis that intelligent life is inherently self-destructive, reinforcing the silence we observe in the cosmos. This brings us to the ethical dimension of the Great Filter. What obligations do we have, not just to each other, but to the potential lifeforms that might one day emerge elsewhere in the universe? If humanity's actions today determine whether intelligent life can exist in the future, we bear a tremendous responsibility to act wisely. This means prioritizing sustainability, investing in technologies that mitigate existential risks, and fostering a culture of global cooperation. One way to think about this is through the lens of what some call cosmic stewardship. This idea suggests that humanity has a duty to protect and preserve the conditions that allow life to flourish, both on Earth and beyond. By addressing the challenges of the Great Filter, we are not just securing our own future, we are contributing to a larger, universal story of survival and growth. However, there's also the possibility that the Great Filter isn't universal, that it applies differently to each civilization based on its unique circumstances. For example, A species that evolves in a harsher environment might develop resilience and adaptability that enable it to overcome challenges more effectively than humanity. Alternatively, civilizations that develop in more stable environments might avoid some of the pitfalls that threaten humanity, such as resource scarcity or ecological collapse. If this is the case, then the key to overcoming the Great Filter may lie in understanding and leveraging our own unique strengths. Humanity's ability to communicate, collaborate, and innovate has brought us this far, and these traits will be essential as we navigate the challenges ahead. By fostering a culture of curiosity and problem-solving, we can create the conditions for long-term survival and success. But even as we look to the future, the Great Filter reminds us to remain vigilant. Every technological advancement, no matter how promising, carries risks that must be carefully managed. From artificial intelligence to genetic engineering, the tools we develop to solve problems could just as easily create new ones. This duality is at the heart of the Great Filter hypothesis. The same forces that enable progress can also lead to destruction. And yet, there is reason for optimism. Humanity has faced numerous challenges throughout its history, from natural disasters to global conflicts, and has repeatedly demonstrated resilience and ingenuity. While the stakes are higher than ever, our ability to learn from the past and adapt to new circumstances gives us a fighting chance. If we can harness this capacity for growth and apply it on a global scale, we may yet prove that the Great Filter is not an insurmountable barrier, but a test that can be overcome. The Great Filter also invites us to think deeply about how humanity approaches long-term planning. Most of our decisions, both individually and collectively, are guided by short-term concerns. Yet, overcoming the Great Filter demands a shift in perspective. We must think in terms of centuries, millennia, and beyond, making choices that prioritize the survival and flourishing of future generations. This long-term thinking extends to the development of sustainable technologies. The exploitation of Earth's natural resources has fueled human progress, but it has also created vulnerabilities: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, to name a few. If these challenges are not addressed, they could become the very filters that prevent humanity from advancing further. Transitioning to renewable energy sources, developing closed-loop systems for resource use, and adopting regenerative practices are critical steps toward mitigating these risks. Moreover, global cooperation will be essential in overcoming the Great Filter. No single nation or group can solve the existential challenges humanity faces. From climate change to nuclear disarmament, these are problems that require collective action on an unprecedented scale. The establishment of international frameworks and agreements, while often fraught with challenges, represents humanity's best chance of addressing these issues effectively. One particularly pressing concern is the rapid pace of technological advancement. While innovation has the potential to solve many of the problems we face, it also introduces new risks. Artificial intelligence, for example, could revolutionize industries and improve lives, but it also raises ethical questions about autonomy, control, and unintended consequences. Similarly, advancements in biotechnology could lead to breakthroughs in medicine and agriculture but could also be weaponized or misused. The dual-use nature of many emerging technologies makes careful oversight and ethical consideration more important than ever. But the Great Filter isn't just about external challenges. It also forces us to confront the internal dynamics of human societies. Inequality, corruption, and conflict are deeply ingrained issues that can destabilize civilizations from within. Overcoming these problems requires not just technological solutions, but a cultural shift toward empathy, understanding, and mutual respect. This may be one of the most difficult barriers to overcome, as it involves addressing the very nature of human behavior and social structures. Interestingly, the Great Filter may also hold implications for our search for extraterrestrial life. If the hypothesis is correct and advanced civilizations are rare, it could explain the apparent silence of the cosmos. This silence, often referred to as the Great Silence, is a key aspect of the Fermi paradox. If intelligent life is common, why haven't we detected it? The Great Filter suggests that many civilizations may fail to survive long enough to make their presence known. This brings us to the concept of technosignatures, indicators of advanced technological civilizations. If humanity wishes to find evidence of other intelligent life, it must develop more sophisticated methods of detecting these signatures. From searching for unusual energy emissions to analyzing atmospheric compositions of distant planets, the search for technosignatures is an exciting and rapidly evolving field. However, the absence of such evidence so far could indicate that the Great Filter is a universal phenomenon, one that very few civilizations manage to overcome. On the other hand, the discovery of even a single advanced civilization would have profound implications for our understanding of the Great Filter. If we find evidence of intelligent life that has survived long enough to communicate or travel across interstellar distances, it might suggest that the Great Filter is less daunting than we fear. Alternatively, it could mean that humanity has already passed through the most difficult stages of the filter, which would be an extraordinary realization. Still, the possibility remains that we are alone, or at least the first civilization in our galaxy to reach this level of development. This idea, sometimes referred to as the firstborn hypothesis, carries its own set of responsibilities. If humanity is indeed the first, our actions could set a precedent for how intelligent life interacts with the cosmos. It also means that we have an unprecedented opportunity to shape the future of the galaxy, for better or worse. This perspective underscores the importance of education and public awareness. If humanity is to overcome the Great Filter, it will require the efforts of not just scientists and policymakers, but people from all walks of life. Cultivating a global sense of responsibility and curiosity about the universe can inspire the innovations and collaborations needed to address the challenges we face. Education systems, media, and cultural institutions all have a role to play in fostering this mindset. Philosophically, the Great Filter also raises profound questions about the nature of existence. Why does the universe seem so inhospitable to intelligent life? Is this a reflection of universal laws, or simply the result of chance? And if humanity is capable of overcoming the Great Filter, what does that say about our place in the cosmos? These questions have no easy answers, but they serve as a reminder of the stakes involved. Our actions today will determine whether humanity becomes a fleeting anomaly in the cosmic timeline, or a lasting presence in the universe. One of the most thought-provoking aspects of the Great Filter is its potential to unite humanity. While our species is divided by interests, the challenges of the Great Filter are universal. They affect everyone, regardless of nationality, race, or creed. Recognizing this shared vulnerability could serve as a catalyst for greater cooperation and understanding. It's a reminder that, in the grand scheme of things, we are all on the same tiny planet, facing the same existential threats. Yet, overcoming the Great Filter will also require humility. Humanity's achievements, while impressive, are minuscule in the context of cosmic time and space. Acknowledging our limitations and learning from the mistakes of the past can help us avoid the hubris that has doomed many societies throughout history. At the same time, we must balance this humility with a sense of hope and determination. The fact that we are here, contemplating these questions, is itself a testament to our resilience and potential. As we look to the future, the Great Filter reminds us that survival is not guaranteed. It is a challenge that must be met with courage, wisdom, and a commitment to the greater good. Whether we succeed or fail will depend on the choices we make today and the legacy we leave for generations to come. In many ways, the Great Filter is not just a barrier, but a mirror. It reflects the best and worst of humanity, our ingenuity and our recklessness, our capacity for cooperation and our tendency toward conflict. By understanding this mirror, we can begin to chart a path forward, one that ensures humanity's survival and opens the door to a brighter, more expansive future. The Great Filter also challenges us to reflect on our values as a civilization. What do we prioritize as we strive to overcome these existential threats? Is it the preservation of life, the advancement of knowledge, or the pursuit of happiness? These questions are not merely philosophical. They have practical implications for how we allocate resources, design policies, and approach global challenges. For instance, if humanity values technological progress above all else, we may risk neglecting the ethical and social considerations that ensure that progress benefits everyone. The role of ethics in overcoming the Great Filter cannot be overstated. Technological advancements like artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and space exploration come with significant moral dilemmas. Who decides how these technologies are used? How do we ensure that they do not exacerbate existing inequalities or create new ones? Addressing these ethical concerns is crucial to ensuring that humanity's progress is sustainable and inclusive. It requires not only scientific expertise but also a deep understanding of human behavior, history, and philosophy. Another critical aspect of the Great Filter is the interplay between individual and collective action. While governments and international organizations play a vital role in addressing existential threats, individuals also have a part to play. Small actions, such as reducing personal carbon footprints, advocating for responsible technology use, or participating in community initiatives, can collectively make a significant impact. Moreover, fostering a culture of curiosity and critical thinking can empower individuals to contribute to solving global challenges in innovative ways. One area where individual and collective action intersect is the democratization of space exploration. Historically, space has been the domain of governments and large corporations, but this is beginning to change. Advances in technology and decreasing costs are enabling private individuals and smaller organizations to participate in space-related activities. This democratization could accelerate humanity's progress toward becoming a multiplanetary species, thereby increasing our chances of overcoming the Great Filter. However, it also raises questions about regulation, equity, and the potential for conflict over space resources. The Great Filter also encourages us to rethink our relationship with nature. For much of human history, we have viewed nature as something to be conquered and exploited. Yet, this mindset has contributed to many of the challenges we face today, from climate change to biodiversity loss. Overcoming the Great Filter may require a shift toward a more symbiotic relationship with the natural world, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of all life. This could involve adopting principles of biomimicry in technology, restoring ecosystems, and prioritizing conservation efforts. Another intriguing dimension of the Great Filter is its psychological impact. The awareness of existential threats can evoke a range of emotions, from fear and anxiety to hope and determination. How humanity processes these emotions will influence our ability to respond effectively. For instance, fear can be a powerful motivator but may also lead to paralysis or denial. Conversely, hope can inspire action but may also result in complacency if it is not grounded in reality. Balancing these emotional responses is a key challenge in addressing the Great Filter. Education plays a vital role in shaping these emotional and intellectual responses. By fostering a deeper understanding of the Great Filter and the existential risks it encompasses, education can equip individuals with the tools they need to contribute to solutions. This includes not only scientific and technical knowledge but also critical thinking skills, ethical reasoning, and an appreciation for the complexity of global challenges. Educational initiatives that emphasize interdisciplinary learning and global citizenship can help prepare the next generation to navigate these challenges effectively. The Great Filter also has implications for humanity's evolution. Throughout history, humans have sought meaning and purpose through art. These cultural practices provide a framework for understanding our place in the universe and grappling with the uncertainties of existence. As we confront the Great Filter, these practices may evolve to reflect our changing circumstances. For instance, the prospect of becoming a multiplanetary species could inspire new forms of artistic expression, philosophical inquiry, and spiritual exploration. In the context of the Fermi paradox, the Great Filter raises profound questions about the nature of intelligence and consciousness. What does it mean to be an intelligent civilization? Is intelligence defined solely by technological capability? Or does it also encompass qualities like empathy, creativity, and wisdom? These questions are not only relevant to our understanding of extraterrestrial life but also to our self-conception as a species. They challenge us to broaden our definition of progress and consider what kind of civilization we aspire to be. The possibility that humanity might overcome the Great Filter also invites us to imagine the future. What would a post-filter civilization look like? How would it interact with the universe and with itself? These speculative questions are not just the domain of science fiction, they are also a means of inspiring action in the present. By envisioning a positive future, we can create a sense of purpose and direction that motivates individuals and societies to work toward it. Yet, the Great Filter also reminds us of the stakes involved. If we fail to overcome these challenges, the consequences could be catastrophic. The extinction of humanity would not only mean the loss of countless lives but also the end of our collective journey as a species. It would erase the knowledge, culture, and achievements that define us and leave the universe without a witness to its wonders. This sobering possibility underscores the urgency of addressing the Great Filter and the existential risks it represents. As we continue to search for answers, the Great Filter serves as both a cautionary tale and a call to action. It challenges us to confront the limitations of our knowledge, the fragility of our existence, and the complexity of the universe. At the same time, it offers a vision of what is possible if we rise to the occasion. By acknowledging the barriers we face and committing to overcoming them, we can pave the way for a future that is not only sustainable but also filled with boundless potential. The Great Filter also invites us to reconsider the broader context of life in the universe. If humanity were to successfully navigate through the obstacles posed by the Great Filter, it would make us an exceptionally rare phenomenon in the cosmos. Such an achievement would place an immense responsibility on our shoulders, not just to sustain ourselves, but also to act as custodians of life and consciousness in a largely uncharted and potentially lifeless universe. This perspective forces us to think beyond our immediate concerns and imagine what it would mean to bear the weight of representing life on a cosmic scale. Part of overcoming the Great Filter involves cooperation on an unprecedented level. While humanity has a long history of competition and conflict, the challenges posed by the Great Filter demand global unity. Issues like climate change, nuclear disarmament, cannot be solved by individual nations acting alone. They require coordinated efforts that transcend cultures. Such unity is difficult to achieve but not impossible, and it may ultimately be the key to humanity's survival and advancement. One of the more fascinating implications of the Great Filter is its potential to serve as a unifying force. The realization that our survival depends on overcoming shared threats could foster a sense of solidarity among humanity. This sense of shared purpose has historically emerged during times of crisis, such as wars or natural disasters, but the Great Filter represents a crisis of an entirely different magnitude. By framing existential threats as a challenge that unites rather than divides us, we might be able to channel our collective energies toward solutions that benefit everyone. The idea of uniting against a common threat also has implications for how we govern ourselves. Traditional governance structures may not be equipped to handle the global and intergenerational nature of the challenges posed by the Great Filter. This has led to calls for new forms of governance that are more inclusive, adaptive, and forward-thinking. For instance, some have proposed creating institutions dedicated to long-term planning and risk assessment, ensuring that humanity's decisions today are informed by their potential impact on future generations. Another critical consideration is how we allocate resources in the face of the Great Filter. Balancing immediate needs with long-term goals is a perennial challenge for any civilization, but it becomes even more pressing in the context of existential risks. For example, how much should we invest in space exploration versus addressing climate change? Should we prioritize technological innovation or social stability? These are not easy questions, but answering them thoughtfully is essential to navigating the Great Filter successfully. The Great Filter also has profound implications for our relationship with technology. On one hand, technology is a double-edged sword. It has the potential to solve many of the challenges we face, but it also introduces new risks. Artificial intelligence, for example, could revolutionize fields like medicine, agriculture, and transportation, but it also raises concerns about job displacement, surveillance, and even the possibility of creating a superintelligence that could outstrip human control. Managing these risks while harnessing technology's benefits is one of the central challenges of overcoming the Great Filter. Space exploration is another area where the Great Filter comes into sharp focus. Expanding humanity's presence beyond Earth is often cited as a way to hedge against existential risks, but it is not without its own challenges. Developing the technology to establish self-sustaining colonies on other planets requires significant resources and cooperation. Moreover, even if we succeed, questions remain about how these colonies would be governed, how conflicts would be resolved, and how the lessons of Earth's history would inform our actions in a new frontier. The search for extraterrestrial life is another avenue through which the Great Filter influences our thinking. Discovering microbial life on another planet, for example, would suggest that life itself is not the bottleneck in the Great Filter. Conversely, finding no evidence of life despite extensive searches would imply that the barriers to becoming an advanced civilization are even higher than we currently imagine. Either scenario would have profound implications for how we view our place in the universe and the likelihood of overcoming the Great Filter. The Great Filter also forces us to confront the limits of our knowledge. Despite our technological and scientific advancements, there is still much we do not understand about the universe, life, and consciousness. These gaps in our knowledge make it difficult to fully grasp the challenges posed by the Great Filter, let alone overcome them. This uncertainty can be daunting, but it also highlights the importance of continued research, exploration, and innovation. In grappling with the Great Filter, it's important to recognize that progress is not always linear. Civilizations can experience periods of rapid advancement followed by stagnation or decline. Understanding the factors that contribute to these cycles, such as resource depletion, social unrest, or external threats, can provide valuable insights into how to navigate the Great Filter. By learning from both our successes and failures, we can develop strategies that enhance resilience and adaptability. The Great Filter also has a psychological dimension that cannot be ignored. Confronting the possibility of humanity's extinction is unsettling, and it can evoke feelings of fear, despair, or helplessness. However, it can also inspire a sense of purpose and determination. How we respond to these emotions will influence our ability to address the challenges we face. Cultivating a mindset of hope, curiosity, and resilience is essential for overcoming the Great Filter and embracing the opportunities it presents. One of the most profound lessons of the Great Filter is the importance of humility. Recognizing the fragility of our existence and the complexity of the universe reminds us that we are not invincible. This humility can serve as a foundation for more thoughtful and responsible decision-making, both as individuals and as a species. It encourages us to question our assumptions, consider alternative perspectives, and approach the challenges of the Great Filter with an open mind. Ultimately, the Great Filter is both a challenge and an opportunity. It forces us to confront the most fundamental questions about our existence. What does it mean to be human? What kind of future do we want to create? And what are we willing to do to ensure that future becomes a reality? While the answers to these questions are not easy, they are essential to understanding our place in the cosmos and our potential to overcome the barriers that lie ahead. As we delve further into the implications of the Great Filter, one realization becomes increasingly clear. This hypothesis does not offer a definitive roadmap, but rather a framework to understand the stakes of human existence. Each barrier, whether it pertains to biological evolution, societal structures, technological advancements, or cosmic hazards, represents a unique puzzle to solve. In this way, the Great Filter becomes more than a theoretical construct. It transforms into a call to action, urging humanity to prepare for the unknown. One of the most pressing aspects of this framework is the need to develop foresight, an ability to anticipate and mitigate potential threats before they reach catastrophic proportions. This foresight is not limited to scientific endeavors but extends to social domains. For example, identifying early signs of societal collapse, such as inequality or resource mismanagement, and addressing them proactively could prevent some of the internal barriers that civilizations face. Similarly, investing in education and global collaboration can help ensure that humanity is better equipped to tackle external challenges, such as asteroid impacts. Another intriguing layer of the Great Filter involves the idea of technological maturity. This term refers to a civilization's ability to wield its technological capabilities responsibly and sustainably. the challenges associated with achieving technological maturity are profound. For instance, developing advanced artificial intelligence might enhance productivity and problem-solving capacities, but it also raises ethical and existential risks, such as loss of human agency or the potential for autonomous systems to make decisions that conflict with human values. The pursuit of nuclear energy provides another lens through which to view technological maturity. While nuclear power can serve as a clean and efficient energy source, its misuse can lead to devastating consequences, as evidenced by the specter of nuclear weapons and catastrophic accidents. Achieving a balance between innovation and precaution is critical for navigating this stage of the Great Filter. It's a reminder that technological advancement, while essential, must be guided by wisdom and accountability. In considering the broader cosmic context, the Great Filter also prompts a reevaluation of the Fermi paradox. If advanced civilizations are exceedingly rare, then the absence of detectable extraterrestrial life might not be surprising. This scarcity, however, doesn't diminish the importance of our search. Instead, it amplifies the stakes. Discovering even a single example of an advanced alien civilization, or evidence of one that failed, would provide invaluable insights into the challenges of the Great Filter. Such findings could illuminate potential pitfalls or alternative paths that humanity might not yet have considered. Interestingly, the Great Filter also intersects with the concept of anthropic bias. This idea suggests that our ability to observe and analyze the universe is inherently tied to the fact that we exist in a universe conducive to life. In other words, the mere fact that we are here to contemplate the Great Filter may indicate that we have already overcome some of its earlier stages. However, this does not guarantee our success in navigating future barriers, nor does it diminish the urgency of addressing the challenges that lie ahead. Education is another critical component of this cultural dimension. By fostering scientific literacy, ethical reasoning, and critical thinking, education can empower future generations to tackle the challenges of the Great Filter. It also underscores the importance of interdisciplinary approaches, as solutions to existential threats often require insights from diverse fields, including biology, engineering, sociology, and philosophy. Cultivating a culture of curiosity and collaboration is essential for overcoming the barriers that stand between humanity and its potential. The Great Filter also challenges us to think creatively about the future. While traditional approaches to problem-solving are valuable, they may not be sufficient to address the unprecedented challenges posed by the Great Filter. This is where speculative thinking and long-term planning come into play. Imagining alternative scenarios, exploring unconventional ideas, and considering what-if questions can help identify innovative solutions and prepare for a wide range of possibilities. One particularly intriguing aspect of speculative thinking involves the idea of post-human civilizations. If humanity successfully navigates the Great Filter, what might the next stage of our evolution look like? Some theorists suggest that advanced civilizations may transcend their biological origins, merging with technology to create new forms of existence. While such concepts remain speculative, they offer a glimpse into the potential rewards of overcoming the Great Filter and achieving long-term survival. Moreover, the Great Filter forces us to confront the ethical implications of our choices. For instance, how do we weigh the needs of the present against the needs of future generations? What responsibilities do we have to other forms of life, both on Earth and beyond? These questions are not merely academic. They have real-world implications for how we approach issues like conservation, space exploration, and technological development. By incorporating ethical considerations into our decision-making processes, we can strive for solutions that are both effective and just. The Great Filter also invites us to reflect on the fragility of our existence. In doing so, it offers a sense of perspective that can be both humbling and empowering. Recognizing the challenges we face as a species underscores the importance of unity, cooperation, and resilience. It also serves as a reminder that our actions today will shape the legacy we leave for future generations. This perspective can inspire a sense of stewardship, encouraging us to act as caretakers of our planet and pioneers of the cosmos. As we move toward the conclusion of this exploration, it's worth reiterating that the Great Filter is not an insurmountable obstacle. While the challenges it presents are formidable, they are not beyond humanity's capacity to address. History is replete with examples of individuals and communities rising to meet seemingly impossible odds. The same spirit of ingenuity and determination that has driven human progress throughout history can also propel us forward in the face of the Great Filter. The journey through the Great Filter is, in many ways, a test of our collective character. It demands not only technological and scientific prowess but also moral courage, empathy, and vision. By embracing these qualities and working together, humanity can navigate the barriers that stand between us and the stars. In doing so, we can fulfill the promise of our existence and ensure that life continues to thrive in a universe filled with challenges, mysteries, and boundless possibilities. Ultimately, the Great Filter brings humanity face to face with its most profound existential questions. What kind of civilization do we aspire to become? How do we define progress, success, and survival in the vast context of the cosmos? The answers to these questions are not just philosophical musings. They have real implications for how we live, how we govern, and how we innovate. The search for extraterrestrial life, the study of the cosmos, and the efforts to overcome our own limitations are deeply interconnected. Each discovery we make about the universe reflects back on us, challenging our understanding of ourselves and our place in the grand scheme of things. The Great Filter is a mirror, revealing the choices and challenges that define our trajectory as a species. It asks us to take a hard look at our vulnerabilities, but also to recognize the immense potential that comes from collective action and curiosity. One of the most hopeful aspects of the Great Filter is that it positions humanity as a young species with an extraordinary opportunity. While the hurdles ahead may be daunting, they also serve as a catalyst for growth. Imagine a future where humanity has not only survived but has thrived, colonizing other planets, preserving Earth as a haven of biodiversity, and advancing knowledge to unprecedented levels. This is not a utopian fantasy but a vision grounded in possibility, provided we learn from the lessons of the Great Filter. There is also the compelling idea that the Great Filter might not be as ominous as it seems. Some theorists propose that the lack of detectable advanced civilizations could stem from factors unrelated to extinction, such as self-imposed isolation, ethical considerations, or a form of cosmic humility. Perhaps advanced civilizations have chosen to turn inward, focusing on creating harmonious societies rather than expanding outward. If this is the case, it offers a valuable insight into what it means to be an advanced species, not just technologically superior, but also ethically evolved. On the other hand, if the Great Filter lies ahead of us, it serves as a sobering reminder of the need for vigilance and adaptability. Overcoming this barrier will require humanity to function as a cohesive unit, transcending. It will also require a balance between ambition and caution, as we explore new frontiers while safeguarding the world we call home. This dual approach, reaching outward while protecting inward, is perhaps the most practical and ethical response to the challenges of the Great Filter. The Great Filter also reframes the way we think about risk. It compels us to identify and address vulnerabilities that might otherwise go unnoticed. For example, the rapid pace of technological change brings with it unforeseen risks, such as unintended consequences of artificial intelligence or the misuse of biotechnology. By applying the lessons of the Great Filter, we can develop strategies to mitigate these risks before they escalate into existential threats. In addition to addressing risks, the Great Filter encourages a mindset of resilience. Resilience is not just about surviving crises, it's about thriving in their aftermath. This requires not only physical and technological preparedness but also psychological and social fortitude. By fostering a culture of resilience, humanity can build the capacity to adapt and innovate in the face of uncertainty. Moreover, the Great Filter highlights the importance of global collaboration. No single nation or organization can overcome the challenges it presents. Whether it's managing climate change, preventing nuclear conflict, or preparing for potential asteroid impacts, these efforts demand a unified approach. International agreements, cooperative research initiatives, and the sharing of resources and knowledge are essential for navigating the Great Filter's obstacles. The Great Filter also emphasizes the value of long-term thinking. In a world driven by short-term goals and immediate gratification, this perspective is a vital corrective. It reminds us that the decisions we make today will shape the trajectory of future generations. This long-term perspective can inform policies, guide investments in science and technology, and inspire a sense of stewardship for the planet and beyond. The potential for interstellar exploration adds another layer of complexity and excitement to the Great Filter discussion. While the technical challenges of traveling to other star systems are immense, they are not insurmountable. Concepts like generational ships, cryogenic sleep, and warp drives are still in their infancy, but they represent the kind of bold thinking that could propel humanity past the Great Filter. These endeavors are not just about survival. They are about the expansion of human potential and the fulfillment of our innate curiosity. Yet, even as we dream of the stars, the Great Filter reminds us of the importance of our home planet. Earth is our cradle, the only world we know capable of sustaining life. Preserving its ecosystems, addressing climate change, and fostering sustainable development are not just moral imperatives. They are survival strategies. The Great Filter underscores the interconnectedness of these efforts, showing that our future in the cosmos is intrinsically tied to our stewardship of Earth. As we contemplate the Great Filter, it also prompts us to rethink the nature of intelligence and life itself. What if advanced civilizations operate on principles so different from our own that we fail to recognize them? What if the Great Filter involves a paradigm shift, requiring us to expand our definitions of life, communication, and progress? These questions challenge our assumptions and open the door to new ways of thinking about the universe and our place within it. Ultimately, the Great Filter is not a fixed barrier but a dynamic process, a series of challenges that test the resilience, ingenuity, and ethical maturity of civilizations. It is both a warning and an opportunity, a reminder of the fragility of life and the boundless potential of human endeavor. By embracing the lessons it offers, humanity can rise to meet the challenges of the cosmos and carve out a future among the stars. The journey through the Great Filter is far from over. It is a story still being written, a narrative shaped by the choices we make today. Will we rise to the occasion, uniting as a species to overcome the barriers that lie ahead? Or will we falter, succumbing to the very challenges we seek to understand? The answer lies not in the stars, but in ourselves, in our ability to learn, to adapt, and to strive for a future that honors the best of what it means to be human. As we move further into the future, the question of whether humanity will pass the Great Filter becomes more pressing. One way to approach this question is to examine the future trajectory of our technological and social advancements. We have already begun to unlock the mysteries of the universe at an unprecedented rate, through space exploration, quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and advancements in biotechnology. But with each breakthrough comes an equal or greater risk of misuse. Consider the potential consequences of a global conflict involving nuclear weapons, or the unintended side effects of genetic engineering. A single catastrophic event could halt humanity's progress, or even wipe out the species entirely. In this sense, the Great Filter acts as both a guiding force and a test of our ability to control the very technologies that could destroy us. There is also the issue of artificial intelligence, a frontier that is both exhilarating and frightening. As we continue to develop machines that are capable of learning and performing tasks previously reserved for humans, we enter uncharted territory. While AI promises immense benefits, such as solving complex problems related to climate change, medicine, and space exploration, it also presents existential risks. The very technologies that may help us overcome the Great Filter could also be the ones that drive us into extinction if left unchecked. It raises questions about whether humanity can develop the wisdom and foresight needed to manage such powerful tools without succumbing to their dangers. Perhaps one of the most important aspects of the Great Filter is the role of cooperation. Humanity has a history of conflict, division, and war, but in recent years, there has been a growing recognition of the need for global cooperation to address existential threats. Climate change, for example, is a crisis that transcends and requires a unified response. Similarly, the exploration of space, the preservation of Earth's ecosystems, and the development of advanced technologies all demand international collaboration. The ability of humanity to work together, to set aside differences in the face of overwhelming challenges, will determine whether we make it past the Great Filter or fall short. The Great Filter also brings into focus the question of whether we are truly alone in the universe. The lack of evidence for other advanced civilizations, as highlighted by the Fermi paradox, suggests that the Great Filter might lie ahead for many species, not just us. It could be that civilizations are so rare because the barriers to their survival are so immense that most never make it past them. In this case, our search for extraterrestrial intelligence might be less about discovering other civilizations and more about learning from the failures of those that came before us. This possibility forces us to confront the idea that humanity's place in the universe might not be as special as we like to think. If we are one of the few, or even the only, intelligent species to have survived long enough to reach the stars, what does that mean for the future of our species? Are we destined to be an anomaly in a galaxy full of dead worlds? Or can we overcome the challenges that have stymied other civilizations? One possible answer lies in our understanding of the Great Filter itself. Perhaps it's not a single event or catastrophe, but a combination of factors that gradually undermine civilizations over time. These might include environmental collapse, resource depletion, self-destruction through war or technology, or even the inability to adapt to changing circumstances. Each civilization that fails to pass the Great Filter may do so for different reasons, and understanding these reasons can help us prepare for the challenges that lie ahead. In this light, the Great Filter isn't just a cosmic event, it's a process that unfolds over time. Each civilization must navigate this process, and each has its own path. Some may make it through, while others will falter. The fact that we are still here, still striving toward the stars, suggests that we are in the midst of this process, and that we have a unique opportunity to succeed where others have failed. To succeed, humanity must learn to balance technological advancement with ethical responsibility. It's not enough to simply reach for the stars. We must do so in a way that preserves the integrity of our planet and our species. This means addressing the existential risks posed by climate change, nuclear war, and emerging technologies. It also means fostering a culture of empathy, cooperation, and sustainability, qualities that are often overshadowed by the drive for power, wealth, and progress. Ultimately, the Great Filter challenges us to rethink what it means to be a successful civilization. The Great Filter forces us to confront the possibility that our survival as a species is not guaranteed. It is not something we can take for granted. The future is not predetermined, it is something we create through the choices we make today. As we continue to explore space and advance our technologies, we must remember that the greatest challenges often lie not in the distant reaches of the cosmos but in the choices we make right here, on Earth. The Great Filter reminds us that the most important frontier may not be the stars themselves, but our ability to protect and nurture the civilization that has emerged on this small, fragile planet. It's a reminder that we are part of a much larger story, one that stretches back billions of years and will continue long after we are gone. The question remains, will humanity rise to the challenge? Will we learn from the lessons of the Great Filter and become one of the few civilizations to survive and thrive? Or will we become another cautionary tale in the great cosmic history of failed civilizations? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the Great Filter is not just a concept for philosophers and scientists to ponder. It is a challenge that every one of us must face, a challenge that will define the future of our species. As we stand on the precipice of a new era, an era defined by artificial intelligence, space exploration, and the fight against existential risks, there has never been a more urgent need for humanity to come together, to act wisely, and to ensure that the story of our civilization is one of survival, growth, and interstellar exploration. The Great Filter may be a daunting concept, but it is not an insurmountable one. The future is still ours to shape, and in that future, the stars may one day be within our reach. The question is, will we be ready when that time comes? As we continue down the path of technological and societal progress, the ever-present question of the Great Filter looms over humanity's potential future. The future of our species is, in many ways, still unwritten. But as we advance in our exploration of the cosmos and in the creation of new technologies, we must ask ourselves, can we outsmart the Great Filter, or will we ultimately fall victim to it like so many civilizations before us? In many ways, the Great Filter is a reminder of the precariousness of intelligent life. The universe, vast and ancient as it is, has seen countless opportunities for life to evolve, and yet we find ourselves alone in our search for intelligent extraterrestrial life. The Great Filter offers one explanation for this. Perhaps intelligent civilizations are so rare because the barriers to their survival and advancement are so significant that most never make it past them. Yet, there is another possibility that we must consider. What if the Great Filter is ahead of us? Could humanity, in its pursuit of technological advancement and space exploration, be heading toward a future where it faces an existential threat it cannot overcome? This possibility is chilling, yet it compels us to examine the paths we are choosing today. We must understand that while space exploration is a monumental achievement, it is also a colossal challenge. The vastness of space presents many obstacles, from the vast distances between celestial bodies to the dangers of cosmic radiation and the technological barriers we must overcome to travel to distant stars. But space exploration is also a mirror reflecting the technological and social challenges we face right here on Earth. The same technological advancements that promise to unlock the mysteries of the universe are also the ones that could pose a danger to our civilization if not carefully managed. Take, for instance, artificial intelligence. While AI holds the potential to revolutionize industries and improve life on Earth, it also carries with it the potential for unprecedented risks. A poorly designed AI could easily surpass human intelligence, making decisions that we do not fully understand or control. If such an AI were to operate with goals that conflict with the well-being of humanity, the consequences could be catastrophic. The fear of AI becoming a runaway technology has led some to propose the idea of alignment, a concept in which AI is specifically designed to align with human values. But ensuring that AI remains under our control while advancing in intelligence and capability is no easy feat. The challenge of managing artificial intelligence might well be a key element of the Great Filter. Another area of concern lies in the realm of biotechnology. While breakthroughs in genetic engineering could offer solutions to some of the world's most pressing health issues, they also come with the potential for dangerous unintended consequences. The ability to genetically modify organisms, whether plants, animals, or humans, brings with it moral and ethical dilemmas that have yet to be fully addressed. What happens if a genetically modified organism were to escape into the wild, disrupting ecosystems and creating unforeseen consequences? Or what if genetic engineering were used to create enhanced individuals with superior physical or intellectual capabilities, leading to new forms of inequality, division, and conflict? The implications of biotechnology extend beyond our own species. If humanity is able to alter genetic material on a global scale, it raises the question, what happens when we alter the natural course of evolution? Will this lead to a new kind of organism that is capable of surviving in space, extending the reach of human civilization to distant stars? Or will it have unintended consequences that push humanity beyond its natural limits? Climate change is another critical factor that could determine whether humanity survives the Great Filter. While many of the world's governments have recognized the urgency of climate change, the will to address it remains insufficient. The consequences of failing to take action, rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and the collapse of ecosystems, could place humanity on a path towards self-destruction. The Great Filter may not be a single event, but rather a slow, gradual process in which civilizations unknowingly destroy themselves through environmental degradation. We have already witnessed the fragility of ecosystems and the delicate balance required to sustain life on Earth. It may be that our failure to recognize and act upon these risks is one of the key factors that leads to the fall of civilizations. One of the most sobering aspects of the Great Filter hypothesis is that it forces us to confront the possibility that we are not special, that humanity might not be destined to conquer the stars. While the idea of extraterrestrial civilizations is exciting, the Great Filter suggests that the reason we have not yet discovered any alien species is because they simply don't exist. Or if they do, they may have destroyed themselves long before they could develop the technology necessary for interstellar communication. The Great Filter forces us to question the ultimate trajectory of human civilization. If we are the only intelligent species in the universe, it suggests that the challenges facing advanced civilizations are incredibly difficult to overcome. Perhaps the Great Filter is so challenging that it's not even clear whether we can pass through it. Perhaps there is something inherent in the nature of intelligent life that makes it more prone to self-destruction, to war, or to the exploitation of the planet's resources until they are exhausted. Yet, the Great Filter does not mean that our future is doomed. It is not a final verdict on humanity's potential but rather a call to action. If we are to survive the Great Filter, we must take bold steps to address the existential risks that we face, both on Earth and in space. We must find ways to manage the technologies that pose the greatest threats, AI, biotechnology, and nuclear weapons, while harnessing their potential for the greater good. We must work together, as a global community, to address the challenges of climate change, resource depletion, and environmental degradation. In space exploration, we must be mindful of the risks and the ethical implications of venturing beyond our planet. There is a temptation to believe that space offers a solution to the problems of Earth, that if we can just colonize another planet, we can escape the problems that plague our world. But the reality is that space offers no guarantee of survival. Colonizing another planet is an immense challenge, one that would require not only technological advancements, but also the wisdom to preserve life beyond Earth. If we are to succeed in this endeavor, we must learn from the mistakes of past civilizations and ensure that we do not repeat them in space. It's clear that the Great Filter is not just an abstract theory to be debated by philosophers and scientists. It is a reality that we must face today, in our decisions, our actions, and our vision for the future. Whether or not we survive, it depends on the choices we make, the wisdom we develop, and the strength we find to confront the challenges ahead. The stakes are higher than ever before, and the future of humanity may hinge on our ability to navigate the Great Filter successfully. As humanity grapples with the growing realization that we might be teetering on the brink of a significant technological and existential threshold, the idea of the Great Filter serves as both a warning and a challenge. It forces us to confront the truth that our civilization is not guaranteed to thrive indefinitely. The hurdles that await us are enormous, and they require collective awareness, innovative thinking, and concerted action. One of the most daunting aspects of the Great Filter is the possibility that it operates on an evolutionary scale that we have yet to fully comprehend. The process of evolution, whether biological or technological, has shown that survival requires constant adaptation and overcoming significant challenges. For species that have reached the level of technological advancement necessary for space exploration, there are many ways for those civilizations to go extinct before they ever venture beyond their home planet. The ability to avoid self-destruction, whether through war, environmental collapse, or unchecked technological advances, may be the key determining factor in whether a civilization survives long enough to become a spacefaring species. Self-destruction, the dangerous path of technological growth. Historically, civilizations have collapsed due to a variety of factors, from environmental mismanagement to unsustainable growth. And as we look to our future, many of the same dangers that have led to the fall of past empires are present in modern society, amplified by our advanced technologies. In many ways, these technologies, which could allow humanity to reach the stars, are the very tools that could lead to our downfall if we don't handle them carefully. For example, nuclear weapons present an existential risk. While nuclear technology has the potential to generate energy for billions of people and could even be a key component of future space exploration efforts, its destructive potential is beyond measure. The fear of nuclear war has been a shadow hanging over humanity for decades, and the temptation to use such weapons in times of conflict remains a significant threat. The knowledge of how to destroy entire cities with a single weapon has created an unprecedented danger, one that previous civilizations never had to contend with. If humans can't find a way to de-escalate the potential for nuclear war and learn to coexist without using these weapons, it is possible that we will not pass through the Great Filter. Similarly, our advances in biotechnology and genetic engineering have opened up new possibilities for enhancing human health and capabilities, but they have also introduced risks. The potential for genetically engineered organisms to escape control or for bioengineered pathogens to be used as biological weapons is a frightening reality. As we gain more power over biology, we must tread carefully, ensuring that these advances don't lead to unintended consequences that could spiral out of control. The development of such powerful technologies without adequate ethical frameworks, regulations, or safeguards could easily lead to disaster. The search for a second Earth, the dangers of escaping to space. The quest to explore and colonize other planets, often seen as the ultimate escape from the dangers that threaten our home planet, also carries inherent risks that could exacerbate the dangers of the Great Filter. There is a temptation to believe that space offers a second chance, that humanity can flee Earth if our planet becomes uninhabitable. But this perspective overlooks the immense challenges of establishing a permanent, self-sustaining presence beyond Earth. Take Mars, for example. While some have proposed that Mars could be humanity's next home, this idea raises numerous questions. The planet's thin atmosphere and lack of liquid water present major obstacles to human habitation. Technologies would need to be developed to produce food, water, and oxygen, all of which would require resources that are not readily available. In addition, cosmic radiation and solar radiation pose serious health risks to astronauts and colonists alike. The cost of establishing a human presence on another planet, coupled with the technical hurdles that must be overcome, means that colonizing space is far from a guarantee of survival. If humanity were to set out to colonize another planet, it would be an uncharted territory, where the success of such a venture would depend on solving problems we have not yet fully addressed. This opens up a significant question. If we are not able to prevent our own extinction on Earth, how could we ensure the success of such a massive, resource-intensive project in space? The Great Filter may not just be something that stops civilizations from advancing. It might also present a clear barrier for humanity's ability to adapt and thrive in environments that are inherently hostile to human life. The search for other life and the paradox of silence. One of the most captivating aspects of the Fermi paradox is the contradiction it presents. With the sheer number of planets and stars in the universe, many of which could support life, why haven't we found any other civilizations? The Great Filter hypothesis offers a compelling explanation for this paradox. Intelligent life may be incredibly rare, and advanced civilizations might never reach the point where they can communicate across the stars. If the Great Filter is behind us, it means that we are among the very few species to have made it through the various challenges that prevent life from advancing. However, if the Great Filter lies ahead of us, it implies that civilizations are rare because they either never make it out of their home planets, or they destroy themselves before they can make contact with other species. The silence of the universe might not be a sign of the absence of life but a reflection of the self-destructive nature of intelligent civilizations. If advanced civilizations are prone to extinction, it's possible that we are one of the very few that have survived long enough to venture into space. This possibility leads to a sobering conclusion. If we are lucky enough to survive the Great Filter, we may be one of the last civilizations standing in the cosmos. However, the idea that there may be no others to communicate with, no advanced alien civilizations to learn from, also raises a troubling question. What happens when a civilization reaches the stars, but there is no one there to greet them? The loneliness of space could be more profound than we imagine, and perhaps our quest for extraterrestrial life is not just about finding new civilizations, but also about confronting the possibility that we might be truly alone in the universe. The Great Filter hypothesis is not meant to paralyze humanity with fear, but rather to motivate us to be more conscious of the decisions we make as we advance technologically. By recognizing the risks that accompany technological progress and the potential dangers of self-destruction, we can take action to mitigate those risks and steer our civilization in a positive direction. At the core of overcoming the Great Filter lies our ability to create systems of governance, technology, and culture that promote long-term sustainability. This involves ensuring that the benefits of advanced technologies are shared equitably, and that we do not allow them to exacerbate existing inequalities. It also means adopting a more holistic view of our planet, recognizing that our survival depends not just on technological prowess but also on the health of the ecosystems that sustain us. Addressing climate change, curbing the proliferation of nuclear weapons, regulating emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and genetic engineering, and developing space exploration strategies that prioritize sustainability. These are all crucial steps in passing through the Great Filter. The future of humanity may depend not just on our technological achievements, but on our collective ability to make wise choices for the long-term survival of our species. Perhaps, the most important lesson the Great Filter teaches us is that survival is not guaranteed. It's a reminder that progress must be balanced with caution, that the pursuit of knowledge and expansion into the cosmos must be tempered with responsibility and foresight. If we can navigate these challenges successfully, we may one day prove that humanity is not just another failed civilization but one that rose above its limitations and survived to tell its story among the stars. As we continue to look forward, the possibility of overcoming the Great Filter presents both a daunting challenge and a powerful motivator. Understanding the potential pitfalls that could lead to our downfall can guide our actions as a civilization, helping us chart a course that minimizes the dangers and maximizes our chances of survival. The journey ahead is filled with unknowns, but what we do now may be the deciding factor in whether humanity becomes a footnote in the history of the universe or the beginning of something truly extraordinary. The role of innovation in overcoming the Great Filter. Technological innovation is one of the primary means by which humanity could navigate through the Great Filter. If we are to avoid the traps that have led other civilizations to collapse, we must develop technologies that enhance our ability to live sustainably on Earth while also preparing for the challenges of space exploration. The technologies that will allow us to avoid self-destruction and thrive as a spacefaring species are already in the early stages of development, but they will require continuous improvement, oversight, and ethical consideration. One area where innovation holds great promise is in the field of renewable energy. As the world grapples with the existential threat of climate change, transitioning away from fossil fuels and towards cleaner, more sustainable energy sources is crucial. Solar, wind, and geothermal energy, along with advanced nuclear technologies like fusion power, could revolutionize our energy systems, reducing our reliance on destructive practices that damage the environment. Additionally, breakthroughs in energy storage and efficiency will be critical to ensuring that we can provide for the growing needs of an expanding global population without overwhelming the planet's resources. Technological advances in artificial intelligence, AI, also hold the potential to be a double-edged sword. AI could be instrumental in solving some of humanity's greatest challenges, such as developing new medical treatments, optimizing resource distribution, or tackling climate change. However, if left unchecked or developed without ethical guidelines, AI could also contribute to our downfall. Autonomous weapons, mass surveillance systems, and other advanced technologies could be used to control populations, engage in warfare, or exacerbate inequality. For AI to serve as a tool of progress, we must ensure that its development is guided by principles that prioritize the well-being of all humanity. Space exploration is another frontier where innovation will play a critical role in overcoming the Great Filter. While colonizing other planets may seem like the ultimate escape, we must first address the technological challenges of making space travel viable and sustainable. Current space missions are costly, and the technology needed to create self-sustaining colonies on other planets is still in its infancy. Innovations in propulsion technology, life support systems, and resource utilization will be essential to making long-term space exploration a reality. Additionally, the development of space-based infrastructure, such as space stations or lunar bases, could provide the foundation for future interplanetary exploration. However, the risks of expanding into space are not limited to the technical challenges. As humanity ventures further into the cosmos, we must also consider the ethical implications of colonizing other planets. Should we terraform Mars to make it habitable for humans, potentially disrupting any native ecosystems that might exist? How will we manage resources in space to ensure that we don't repeat the same mistakes we made on Earth? The exploration of space must be accompanied by a deep commitment to sustainability, and a respect for the potential life that may already exist in these alien environments. The importance of global cooperation. The challenges presented by the Great Filter are not limited to any one country or region, they are global in scope. Overcoming the Great Filter will require unprecedented levels of cooperation between nations, as the problems we face are too large and complex to be solved by any single entity. Climate change, nuclear proliferation, space exploration, and the development of emerging technologies all require a coordinated global effort. International cooperation has already proven to be essential in addressing global challenges. The establishment of global treaties, such as the Paris Agreement on Climate Change and the Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, on nuclear weapons, demonstrates that nations can come together to tackle shared risks. However, these agreements need to be expanded, strengthened, and enforced in order to address the full spectrum of threats that humanity faces. In the realm of space exploration, international collaboration is already taking shape. The International Space Station, ISS, a joint project involving space agencies from the United States, Russia, Europe, Japan, and Canada, has been a successful example of how countries can work together to advance scientific knowledge and develop the technologies needed for future space missions. However, as the space race intensifies and private companies enter the arena, it is critical that nations continue to collaborate and establish international norms and regulations for space exploration to prevent competition from turning into conflict. Beyond space, global cooperation is essential for tackling the existential threats of the 21st century. As countries work together to mitigate climate change, limit the proliferation of nuclear weapons, and regulate emerging technologies, we increase our chances of surviving the Great Filter and ensuring the long-term survival of humanity. A world that is divided by nationalism and self-interest will only accelerate our decline, while a world united by shared goals and values will be better equipped to face the challenges of the future. The role of awareness and education. For humanity to rise above the dangers of the Great Filter, it is crucial that people understand the risks we face and the actions we can take to mitigate them. Awareness and education are powerful tools for ensuring that individuals, communities, and governments are informed about the challenges that lie ahead. The more people understand the importance of sustainability, the dangers of technological misuse, and the potential for space exploration, the more likely it is that they will take the necessary steps to create a future that is both prosperous and safe. Education is the key to fostering a generation of individuals who are equipped with the knowledge and skills to navigate the complexities of the modern world. From STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, education to environmental studies, global cooperation, and ethical leadership, the next generation must be prepared to tackle the problems that previous generations failed to solve. By prioritizing education on these crucial issues, we empower people to make informed decisions, to advocate for sustainable policies, and to innovate in ways that drive humanity forward. Moreover, awareness campaigns that highlight the risks of self-destruction and the importance of space exploration can inspire individuals to pursue careers in science and technology, which are critical to overcoming the Great Filter. When people understand the stakes, they are more likely to support initiatives that promote sustainability, scientific research, and international cooperation. The Great Filter, a catalyst for hope? While the Great Filter hypothesis may initially seem like a bleak outlook for humanity's future, it also presents an opportunity for hope. The very fact that we are aware of the potential dangers and the obstacles that lie ahead provides us with the chance to change course. The knowledge that the Great Filter exists can serve as a powerful motivator to take the necessary steps to ensure that humanity doesn't fall victim to the same fate that many other civilizations may have experienced. Overcoming the Great Filter is not just about avoiding destruction, it's about embracing the potential for growth, exploration, and innovation. The challenges we face are formidable, but they are not insurmountable. By acting collectively, embracing technological progress with responsibility, and prioritizing the survival of our species, we can navigate through the Great Filter and emerge stronger, more unified, and capable of achieving things once thought impossible. As we continue to explore the cosmos, to push the boundaries of technology, and to confront the existential challenges of our time, we must remember that the future is not predetermined. It is up to us, the generations alive today, to shape that future and ensure that humanity doesn't just survive but thrives in the vast expanse of space. The Great Filter may be a reminder of the fragility of our existence, but it also serves as a call to action, a challenge to create a legacy that will endure for millennia to come. As we face the uncertainties of the future, there is much to learn from the very possibility of the Great Filter. It's not just a theory that poses a question, it serves as a roadmap to a future that humanity can shape through its actions, decisions, and collective will. The path forward may be fraught with challenges, but it also holds the potential for boundless opportunity if we can rise to meet the test. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence and the Great Filter. One of the key questions that the Great Filter hypothesis raises is why, despite the vast number of stars in the galaxy, we have yet to find any evidence of advanced extraterrestrial civilizations. This question, often framed as the Fermi paradox, is deeply intertwined with the concept of the Great Filter. If intelligent life is relatively common in the universe, then we should have already detected signs of extraterrestrial civilizations. Yet we have not. The absence of such signals suggests that something may be preventing advanced civilizations from reaching the stage of interstellar communication or travel, perhaps something akin to the Great Filter. This paradox creates a profound sense of mystery, but it also offers a potential explanation for our own lack of contact with extraterrestrial life. It suggests that advanced civilizations, no matter how widespread they might be, may only reach a certain point in their development before they collapse or self-destruct. If this is true, then the Great Filter could be the key to understanding the silence of the cosmos. It raises the question of whether we are simply one of the few civilizations to make it this far or whether we are on the verge of becoming another example of a failed species. In the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, we have looked for signals from alien civilizations in the hope of finding proof that we are not alone in the universe. However, this search has been largely fruitless. The absence of clear signals could mean that advanced civilizations tend to self-destruct before they can broadcast their existence to the stars. Alternatively, it might suggest that such civilizations have adopted different forms of communication that are beyond our current understanding or technological reach. Another possibility is that extraterrestrial civilizations may choose not to communicate with us, perhaps due to fear of the consequences or a deep cultural preference for isolation. The Fermi paradox, in tandem with the Great Filter hypothesis, pushes us to consider whether the path we are currently on, one filled with rapid technological advancements, environmental degradation, might be leading us to our own inevitable collapse. But it also motivates us to explore new avenues of discovery and growth, as understanding the true nature of the Great Filter may hold the key to breaking the cycle. Technological overreach, the dangers of progress without wisdom. One of the most critical barriers that civilizations face on their journey through technological advancement is the tendency to prioritize progress without considering the broader implications. As humanity races towards new frontiers, whether through artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, or space exploration, we often encounter the danger of technological overreach, advancing technologies that we do not fully understand or are unable to control. A striking example of this phenomenon is nuclear technology. While nuclear energy has the potential to provide vast amounts of clean energy, the development of nuclear weapons and the threat of nuclear war highlight the destructive potential of this technology when it is used irresponsibly. The same technology that could power cities could also annihilate them, a paradox that has shaped the global landscape for decades. Similarly, emerging technologies in artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and even autonomous robotics carry with them immense potential benefits, but also significant risks. Without ethical frameworks and strong regulatory measures, these technologies could lead to unforeseen consequences that could jeopardize the survival of humanity. A key aspect of overcoming the Great Filter lies in the ability of a civilization to recognize the potential dangers of its technological advancements and to regulate their use wisely. It's not enough to simply create new technologies. We must also develop the wisdom and foresight to use them responsibly. This requires a deep understanding of the long-term effects of these technologies, a commitment to ethical principles, and a willingness to halt progress when the risks outweigh the benefits. The role of humanity in defining its future. In the end, the Great Filter is not just a cosmic mystery or a set of theoretical barriers. It is a challenge that defines the future of humanity. As we move forward, we are faced with choices that will shape the course of our civilization for generations to come. Will we choose to face our challenges head-on, or will we continue to ignore the warning signs of self-destruction? Humanity's future will depend on our ability to navigate the existential risks we face, from the threat of nuclear war to the dangers of environmental collapse. But it will also depend on our ability to dream big, to innovate, and to take bold steps into the unknown. Whether we choose to explore space, to improve life on Earth, or to overcome the societal and technological challenges of our time, we must do so with the understanding that our survival is not guaranteed. The Great Filter is not an inevitability, but a reminder that survival requires both careful planning and a willingness to adapt. Ultimately, humanity has the power to overcome the challenges posed by the Great Filter. But it will require cooperation, innovation, wisdom, and a shared vision for the future. If we can work together to tackle the most pressing issues of our time, whether in the realms of climate change, space exploration, or technological development, then we can not only avoid the traps that have ensnared other civilizations but also lay the foundation for a thriving, interstellar future. As we look to the stars and beyond, the question is not whether we will survive, but how we will rise to the challenge. Will we let the Great Filter define our fate, or will we use it as a catalyst for growth, learning, and transformation? The answer lies in our hands, and the journey ahead is one that will test the very limits of human potential. The stars are waiting, but the path is not easy. For humanity to venture beyond its home planet, to become a space-faring civilization, it must confront the same forces that have shaped the destinies of countless civilizations before it. The Great Filter serves as both a cautionary tale and a challenge, one that may ultimately determine whether we are destined for greatness or doomed to extinction. What will we do with this knowledge? The answer may define not just our future, but the future of life itself in the universe. As we look ahead, the Great Filter presents us with a stark reality, a test that may reveal just how resilient and capable humanity truly is. But it's essential to understand that the challenge isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving in a universe full of potential hazards and hidden mysteries. In many ways, this is our generation's defining moment. The decisions we make today could determine whether we pass through the Great Filter or become another failed experiment in the cosmos. The extinction risk, a wake-up call. One of the most disconcerting aspects of the Great Filter hypothesis is the possibility that humanity is on the brink of an extinction event. As we look at the history of life on Earth, there have been several instances where species have faced near extinction, often due to catastrophic events. However, these past extinction events have typically been external factors like asteroid impacts or ice ages. What makes the Great Filter particularly troubling is the idea that it could be something we bring upon ourselves, a self-inflicted wound. The dangers of human-made extinction are no longer confined to the realm of science fiction. Climate change, nuclear war, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology all present existential risks that could lead to humanity's downfall. While these threats may seem distant or improbable, the reality is that they are more imminent than ever before. The rapid acceleration of technological advancements means that the risks we face are not just theoretical. They are very real, and they are increasing in both scale and complexity. For example, climate change is a pressing issue that could lead to widespread ecological collapse if left unchecked. Rising global temperatures, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events are already impacting ecosystems and human populations around the world. If the current trajectory continues, it could lead to resource shortages, mass migration, and even violent conflicts. This represents a critical barrier to human survival, a filter that we must overcome if we are to secure a sustainable future for ourselves and future generations. Similarly, the threat of nuclear war remains a constant source of concern. The existence of nuclear weapons, while intended to deter war, also carries the risk of catastrophic conflict. A single miscalculation or act of aggression could result in global annihilation. The very weapons designed to ensure peace could become the harbingers of our extinction if humanity cannot find a way to move beyond this dangerous arms race. Artificial intelligence and biotechnology, while offering tremendous benefits, also carry the risk of being used for destructive purposes. As AI systems become more autonomous, they could potentially operate in ways that are harmful to human interests. Similarly, the manipulation of genetic material and the creation of synthetic organisms could lead to unforeseen consequences that could threaten the balance of life on Earth. The ability to create life forms, whether through genetic engineering or synthetic biology, places immense power in our hands. But with this power comes the responsibility to ensure that these technologies are used ethically and safely. The Great Filter asks us whether we can overcome these risks, or if we are doomed to fall prey to them. It forces us to confront the reality that humanity may not be as invincible as we like to believe. However, acknowledging these threats is the first step toward avoiding them. If we can address the risks of climate change, nuclear war, and emerging technologies, we may be able to pass through the Great Filter and continue our journey toward becoming a space-faring civilization. Global cooperation, the key to overcoming the filter. One of the most promising aspects of humanity's ability to survive and thrive in the face of the Great Filter is the potential for global cooperation. Unlike past civilizations, which were often divided by geographic and ideological boundaries, the world today is more interconnected than ever before. The challenges we face are global in nature and cannot be solved by any one nation alone. The idea of global cooperation is not a new one, but it has never been more urgent. The rise of international organizations like the United Nations, along with initiatives like the Paris Climate Agreement, demonstrates that it is possible for nations to come together to address shared challenges. If humanity is to survive the Great Filter, it will require a level of global cooperation that transcends national interests and ideological divides. This cooperation will not only be necessary to address the existential risks we face, but also to ensure that humanity's future is not shaped by conflict and division. A shared vision for the future, one that prioritizes sustainability, peace, and technological advancement, will be essential if we are to overcome the Great Filter. The role of space exploration in overcoming the Great Filter. Perhaps one of the most inspiring aspects of the Great Filter hypothesis is the potential for space exploration to provide a way forward. The idea that humanity could one day become a spacefaring civilization offers a sense of hope and possibility in the face of the many challenges we face. Space exploration could provide the means to escape the constraints of Earth, establish colonies on other planets, and ensure the survival of the human species in the event of a global catastrophe. The exploration of Mars, the Moon, and other celestial bodies could provide invaluable insights into the potential for human life beyond Earth. If we can establish self-sustaining colonies on other planets, we may be able to mitigate the risks posed by existential threats like climate change or nuclear war. Space exploration could also open up new frontiers for scientific discovery and technological innovation, providing humanity with the tools and knowledge to address the challenges we face on Earth. However, space exploration also presents its own set of challenges. The technical, logistical, and financial hurdles involved in sending humans to other planets are immense. The cost of building space habitats, developing life support systems, and ensuring the long-term sustainability of space colonies would be astronomical. Moreover, the psychological and physiological challenges of living in space, such as the effects of microgravity on the human body and the isolation of long-duration space missions, must also be considered. Despite these challenges, the pursuit of space exploration is one of the most promising ways to ensure the survival of humanity. If we can overcome the obstacles of space travel, we may one day establish a thriving presence beyond Earth, ensuring that humanity is not confined to a single planet. In this sense, space exploration is not just about scientific curiosity or technological advancement, it is a means of survival. It is humanity's way of ensuring that we are not trapped by the Great Filter, but rather empowered by the possibilities of the cosmos. The Great Filter hypothesis forces us to confront some uncomfortable truths about the future of humanity. It suggests that the path to becoming an advanced, interstellar civilization is fraught with challenges, both external and internal, that could prevent us from achieving our full potential. From existential risks like climate change and nuclear war to the dangers of technological overreach and societal collapse, the obstacles are daunting. However, the Great Filter also presents an opportunity to reflect on the path we are on and take decisive action to shape our future. The ultimate question is whether humanity will rise to meet these challenges or succumb to them. Will we choose cooperation over conflict? Will we harness the power of technology for good rather than destruction? Will we embrace space exploration as a means of securing our future beyond Earth? The answers to these questions will determine whether we can pass through the Great Filter and continue our journey into the stars. The future is not set in stone, and humanity's fate is not predetermined. We have the power to shape our destiny, but that power comes with responsibility. The Great Filter serves as both a warning and a challenge, one that we must take seriously if we are to ensure the survival and flourishing of our species. The cosmos is vast and full of potential, but it is also filled with peril. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it is one that we must undertake if we are to fulfill our potential and become a part of the greater cosmic story. Humanity's journey through the cosmos may very well be our most profound endeavor, but it will require more than just scientific and technological advances. It will take a deep understanding of our place in the universe, the forces that shape us, and the choices we make as individuals and as a collective society. The Great Filter isn't just a distant hypothesis, it's a reflection of the very real challenges that define our future. The most crucial question that remains is, are we truly ready for what lies ahead? Humanity's fragile trajectory, learning from the past. The history of life on Earth has been marked by significant extinctions, some that we caused and others that were entirely out of our control. From the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs to the ice ages that pushed countless species to the brink, the natural world has always posed formidable challenges. But what sets humanity apart from previous species is our ability to shape the environment around us, both for better and for worse. This ability gives us unprecedented power, but also places an immense responsibility on our shoulders. Throughout history, civilizations have risen and fallen, often due to internal collapse or external threats. Every major civilization in history has faced a common thread: their inability to adapt to changing circumstances or external pressures. The key question is whether humanity has learned from these past failures, or if we are destined to repeat the same mistakes. In examining these collapses, it's not hard to see how some of the same forces that brought down past civilizations could threaten our global society. Environmental degradation, overexploitation of resources, internal strife, and external threats have all played a part in the downfall of great powers. If humanity doesn't take the lessons of the past to heart, it's possible that we too could fall victim to a similar fate, becoming another footnote in the long history of failed civilizations. This is where the Great Filter becomes so compelling. Could we be on the brink of a catastrophic collapse, just as those before us were? Or are we on the cusp of overcoming the challenges that have stymied every civilization that has come before us? The technological edge, a double-edged sword. The acceleration of technology over the last century has been nothing short of extraordinary. From the advent of the Internet to breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, we've made leaps in our technological capabilities that would have seemed impossible just a few decades ago. But with this power comes a greater responsibility to use it wisely. While technological advancements hold the key to solving many of the problems that threaten our existence, they also present new and unknown risks. Take artificial intelligence, for example. While AI holds great promise for solving complex problems, from curing diseases to advancing scientific discovery, its rapid development also raises concerns. Will AI become uncontrollable, or worse, turn against humanity? Could the machines we create one day become our masters, as is often depicted in dystopian fiction? These are questions that no one has definitive answers to, but they are questions we must address before it's too late. Similarly, biotechnology, including genetic engineering and synthetic biology, opens up a world of possibilities for improving human health and even extending life. But it also introduces the risk of unforeseen consequences. Could we inadvertently create a new form of life that threatens the balance of ecosystems? Or could the manipulation of genes lead to ethical dilemmas that challenge our understanding of humanity? The technology that gives us the power to enhance our lives may also carry the risk of catastrophic misuse. Nuclear weapons are another area where technological advancements have created both immense power and profound danger. Since their creation in the mid-20th century, the world has lived with the knowledge that a single miscalculation or act of aggression could lead to global devastation. The potential for nuclear war, whether intentional or accidental, remains one of the most significant existential risks humanity faces. Despite efforts at disarmament and non-proliferation, the threat of nuclear conflict is far from gone. In the case of the Great Filter, the question we must ask is whether humanity will be able to harness these powerful technologies in a way that benefits us without causing irreversible harm. Will we use our knowledge and innovations to propel ourselves toward a brighter future, or will we become victims of our own creations? Space exploration, the ultimate escape or the ultimate challenge? As we look beyond the Earth, the potential for space exploration offers a glimmer of hope. If humanity can develop the necessary technologies to colonize other planets, it may be able to overcome the existential threats that loom over us. In particular, the idea of spreading humanity across multiple planets is often seen as the ultimate backup plan, a way to ensure that humanity could survive even if Earth becomes uninhabitable. The pursuit of space exploration could also answer one of the most tantalizing questions of the Fermi paradox. Why, if the universe is so vast, have we not yet encountered intelligent extraterrestrial civilizations? Some have suggested that the answer lies in the Great Filter. If civilizations typically fail to reach space or become extinct before they can venture beyond their home planets, then it could explain the silence of the cosmos. Perhaps the great barrier that most civilizations face is the inability to survive long enough to become spacefaring. The idea of human expansion into space is one that has captivated imaginations for decades. The challenges, however, are formidable. Space travel, while progressing rapidly, is still in its infancy. The technological, financial, and logistical hurdles are immense. Colonizing another planet would require us to overcome vast distances, develop sustainable life support systems, and build self-sustaining ecosystems. Beyond the technological challenges, there are the psychological and societal aspects to consider. How would humans adapt to life on Mars or the Moon? Could we form stable, thriving societies in space? Would the psychological toll of living in isolation from Earth prove too much for future space pioneers? These questions are far from trivial, and they represent the next great challenge for humanity. While the dream of space exploration is alluring, it also comes with immense responsibility. We may find ourselves at the precipice of a new age, where our ability to conquer space is inextricably linked to our ability to overcome the challenges that threaten our survival on Earth. If we can succeed in this endeavor, it may be the key to bypassing the Great Filter and securing our place in the universe. However, if we fail, the consequences could be dire. The unknowns, what lies beyond the Great Filter? The Great Filter is ultimately a hypothesis that forces us to confront the unknown. We don't know whether the filter lies ahead of us or behind us. It could be that humanity has already passed through the Great Filter, having survived the early challenges of evolution and development. Alternatively, it could lie just ahead of us, waiting to snuff out our progress before we reach the stars. Regardless of where the filter lies, what is clear is that humanity is at a crossroads. The choices we make now will determine whether we continue our journey into the cosmos, or fall victim to the forces that have caused the collapse of every civilization before us. We cannot predict the future with certainty, but we can control our actions in the present. It is up to us to ensure that we are ready for whatever challenges lie ahead, and to work together to build a future that will allow humanity to thrive, both on Earth and beyond. In the grand scheme of the universe, our time as a species may be but a fleeting moment. But within that moment, we have the potential to shape our destiny. The Great Filter presents us with a challenge, but it also presents us with an opportunity to prove that humanity is capable of rising to any challenge, overcoming any obstacle, and reaching for the stars. Whether we succeed or fail, the future of humanity will depend on how we respond to the questions posed by the Great Filter. The truth is, humanity stands on the edge of a great unknown, and the Great Filter is not just a scientific concept, it's a call to action. We are living in a time when the choices we make could have profound consequences for the future of our species. The challenges we face, from climate change to global conflict, to the existential threats posed by advanced technology, are not just problems to be solved, they are the very forces that may determine whether we pass through the Great Filter or fall victim to it. The ethical implications of technological advancements. As we continue to push the boundaries of science and technology, we must also confront the ethical implications of our actions. Every new technological breakthrough brings with it the potential for great good and for great harm. We've already seen the devastation that can arise from the misuse of technology. The atomic bomb, for example, demonstrated the catastrophic potential of unchecked scientific power. Advances in AI could lead to either an era of unprecedented prosperity or one in which machines outpace and overshadow human intelligence, possibly even surpassing our control. Biotechnology presents similar dilemmas. While gene editing and synthetic biology hold the potential to eliminate diseases and extend life, they also raise profound ethical questions. Could we create a new form of life that poses a threat to Earth's ecosystems? What happens when we start designing our offspring or enhancing human abilities? These are questions we must grapple with, as the answers will shape our future in ways we cannot yet fully predict. The most pressing question, perhaps, is whether humanity will be able to wield the technological power it has created responsibly. The very nature of the Great Filter suggests that technological advancement is not necessarily the key to survival. How we manage that power is what matters most. If we don't learn to exercise caution, self-restraint, and wisdom in our use of technology, the very tools that could help us survive may instead contribute to our downfall. The role of space exploration, a beacon of hope or a diversion? As we contemplate the future of humanity, space exploration is often seen as a beacon of hope. The dream of becoming an interplanetary species has inspired generations of scientists, engineers, and dreamers. But space exploration, while exciting, is not without its own set of challenges. The physical and psychological toll of living in space, the immense cost, and the uncertain return on investment all pose significant obstacles. Yet, the stakes of space exploration are high. If we are to survive as a species, the ability to colonize other planets could prove to be critical. Earth is vulnerable to many existential threats, from natural disasters like asteroid impacts to man-made catastrophes like nuclear war or climate change. The notion of spreading humanity across multiple planets is one that has been popularized by visionaries like Elon Musk, who argues that the survival of humanity depends on our ability to establish a foothold on Mars. However, there are important questions to consider. Is space colonization truly the best way forward, or could our resources be better spent addressing the problems we face here on Earth? The immense cost of space exploration could be better used in combating climate change, solving poverty, or ensuring global peace. There's no guarantee that space colonization would be a panacea, especially considering the challenges we would face in building self-sustaining colonies on distant planets. Moreover, the resources required to colonize space may come at the cost of addressing our immediate needs. While exploring the cosmos offers great potential, we must also ensure that we do not lose sight of the urgent issues we face on Earth. Can we balance the dream of space exploration with the reality of climate crises, resource depletion, and the need for global cooperation? The dark side of the universe, the Great Filter beyond Earth. In considering the Great Filter, it's essential to remember that it is not just a problem for humanity. If the hypothesis is correct, the Great Filter may be a universal phenomenon that affects all intelligent civilizations. It suggests that the reason we haven't encountered other intelligent life in the universe may be that most civilizations never make it past the crucial step that propels them into the cosmos. Whether it's the inability to develop advanced technologies, self-destruction, or the inability to navigate the complexities of survival, the Great Filter may be the ultimate reason for the silence of the universe. The Fermi paradox, which posits that the universe should be teeming with intelligent life given its vastness, becomes even more puzzling in light of the Great Filter. If life is common, as many scientists believe, then why have we not yet encountered another advanced civilization? The answer may lie in the fact that most civilizations, like ours, face insurmountable challenges that prevent them from reaching the stars. It could be that the Great Filter lies ahead, and we are just beginning to confront it. Or it could be that the Great Filter is something that most civilizations never even survive long enough to face. Perhaps the filter is not a single event but a series of increasingly difficult hurdles that civilizations must clear. If this is the case, then humanity may still be far from achieving the necessary steps to become a truly interstellar civilization. The fact that we have already overcome so many challenges, from the development of tools to the harnessing of electricity, suggests that humanity has the potential to survive the Great Filter. But the risks are still high, and the path forward is uncertain. The universe may hold many secrets, and the Great Filter is just one of them. Yet, it serves as a reminder that the journey to the stars is not guaranteed. It is a reminder that we are still at the mercy of forces much larger than ourselves, forces that we are only beginning to understand. Confronting the Great Filter, a path forward. If we are to pass through the Great Filter, we must recognize that survival is not a guarantee. The future of humanity depends on how we address the challenges that lie ahead. Technological innovation, global cooperation, ethical decision-making, and the responsible use of resources are all essential components of this journey. Above all, we must learn from the past, acknowledging the failures of past civilizations while looking toward the future with hope and determination. The Great Filter may seem like an insurmountable barrier, but it is not a reason for despair. It is a challenge that requires us to rise to the occasion, to innovate, to collaborate, and to act with purpose. If we can do that, then we may yet overcome the obstacles that threaten our survival and unlock the potential for humanity to thrive beyond Earth. The question remains, will humanity rise to the challenge of the Great Filter, or will we become yet another failed civilization in the history of the cosmos? The answer is up to us. As humanity faces the vast unknowns of the universe, the Great Filter remains a shadow that looms over our future. It serves as both a cautionary tale and a motivator. If we are to overcome the obstacles that have doomed so many civilizations before us, we must confront the harsh reality that our survival is not a certainty. Yet, this awareness also offers an opportunity. We are, perhaps, in the unique position to learn from the failures of others, failures that may not even be of our own making. The role of environmental sustainability. One of the most critical aspects of passing through the Great Filter is our ability to create a sustainable future for ourselves here on Earth. Climate change, resource depletion, and the degradation of ecosystems are not just problems. They are existential threats that could decide whether humanity makes it through the Great Filter. Historically, civilizations have risen and fallen, often due to their inability to manage the environment and resources that sustained them. In the modern era, the consequences of environmental mismanagement are far more dire. A destabilized climate, rising sea levels, and desertification are already beginning to have significant effects on global food and water resources. The Great Filter may be telling us that if we do not figure out how to live sustainably, we may be headed toward our own collapse. The window of time in which we can make changes to reverse the damage may be closing, and without drastic action, we may find ourselves unable to adapt in time. But this challenge also presents an opportunity. The technological innovations we are developing, such as renewable energy, green infrastructure, and climate engineering, could allow us to overcome the environmental hurdles that have crippled previous civilizations. However, the success of these efforts depends not only on technological advancement, but on a collective willingness to change the way we live and work. This is a test of global cooperation, ethical responsibility, and long-term thinking. If we fail this test, the Great Filter will become the defining event in human history. The evolution of intelligence and consciousness. Another significant question posed by the Great Filter hypothesis is related to the evolution of intelligence itself. Why does intelligent life seem so rare? One possible answer lies in the extreme rarity of the conditions necessary for intelligent life to evolve. Evolutionary theory tells us that intelligence did not simply emerge from randomness. It was the result of specific environmental pressures that favored problem-solving, social cooperation, and adaptability. However, the road to intelligence is fraught with obstacles. For most life on Earth, intelligence was not a necessary trait for survival. Many species thrive by relying on instincts and behaviors that are simple yet highly effective. The complex neural networks that underlie human cognition took millions of years to develop, and they may not have emerged in the same way on other planets. Even on Earth, intelligent life is a rarity. Human beings are the only species known to possess advanced cognitive abilities. This suggests that the leap from simple life to intelligent life may be one of the major barriers that civilizations face when trying to emerge and thrive. But the development of intelligence itself may not be the only filter we face. In fact, intelligence may bring with it as many dangers as it does benefits. The capacity for destructive behavior, greed, and warfare may be just as much a product of intelligence as creativity and cooperation. The great filter, therefore, could lie in the very development of intelligence itself, particularly when a species reaches a stage where it is capable of self-destruction. Could it be that civilizations that developed advanced intelligence, like humans, often destroyed themselves before reaching the stars? Perhaps the greatest danger lies not in the absence of intelligence but in the complexity of its consequences. With intelligence comes the ability to manipulate the environment, develop advanced weapons, and fundamentally alter the fabric of society. If these powers are not wielded with care and wisdom, the resulting destruction could be catastrophic. Exploring the great filter in the context of the Fermi paradox. The Fermi paradox presents a direct challenge to our understanding of the universe. Given the vast number of stars, planets, and galaxies in the cosmos, one might expect that intelligent life would be abundant. After all, there are billions of planets in the habitable zone of their respective stars, where conditions for life could exist. If life is common, then why haven't we encountered other intelligent civilizations? The Great Filter hypothesis offers one potential answer to the paradox. Perhaps most civilizations never reach the stage where they are capable of interstellar communication or exploration. The absence of extraterrestrial life may not be due to distance or time, though those factors undoubtedly play a role, but because advanced civilizations simply do not survive long enough to develop the technologies needed to contact or visit other civilizations. This idea shifts the focus of the Fermi paradox from the search for extraterrestrial life to the inherent fragility of civilizations themselves. In a way, the Fermi paradox highlights the rarity of intelligent life that is capable of surviving its own technological and societal challenges. If life is common, as many scientists believe, then the great filter must lie somewhere between the emergence of life and the development of a space-faring civilization. It could be that every time a civilization reaches the critical juncture of technological advancement, it faces a challenge, whether environmental or technological, that leads to its collapse before it can expand beyond its home planet. This is where the Fermi paradox ties directly into the existential risks humanity faces. If we are indeed alone in the galaxy because most civilizations self-destruct before reaching the stars, then we are standing on the precipice of an incredibly difficult journey. The potential for human survival is real, but it hinges on our ability to confront the same challenges that have doomed other civilizations in the past. The Final Frontier, a vision for the future. As we look toward the future, there are still enormous challenges to overcome. But the story of humanity is not one of inevitable doom, it is one of survival against all odds. We have faced adversity before and emerged stronger. We have created a world that, despite its flaws, is capable of incredible innovation, compassion, and resilience. The path to overcoming the great filter is not clear, but it is possible if we take the right steps. Space exploration remains a key part of that future. We may not yet know if there are other intelligent civilizations out there, but we can continue to push the boundaries of our knowledge and technology. Space offers us a chance to expand our horizons and understand the universe in ways that were once unimaginable. And yet, space exploration also comes with the same risks as technological advancement on Earth. If we do not use our newfound knowledge wisely, we could bring about our own demise. The Great Filter should not be seen as a death sentence for humanity, but as a challenge to rise to. It is a test of our capacity to learn, adapt, and survive. If we can navigate the complex web of dangers and opportunities that lie ahead, we may not only pass through the Great Filter, we may redefine what it means to be a civilization capable of thriving in the cosmos. In the end, the future of humanity is in our hands. The Great Filter may be a reminder that survival is not guaranteed, but it also presents an opportunity. We are at a crossroads, and the path we choose will determine whether we continue to thrive on this planet or face extinction. The question remains, will we overcome the Great Filter, or will we become another lost civilization in the cosmic void? This video is for educational or entertainment purposes only, and information provided in the video may be incorrect. Like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such amazing videos.